Guys, the Dallas Mavericks decided that it was time to fire Nico Harrison. And I just want to give a quick take on that. First of all, why now? That honestly is a big question. I honestly think that you should have waited for this thing to play out. Give him the full season. But also, I think that Nico Harrison, there was a possibility that he could have possibly saved his job. When? Where? It would have been in the offseason. If I'm Nico, I would have pushed the trade for Kevin Durant. Why? Because big names can save careers. Not because I think Kevin Durant would have been the best fit, but to be honest with you, the Houston Rockets didn't really get much for him. So you pair him with Anthony Davis. You guys wait for Kyrie, even though it's clear that the biggest problem with the Mavericks is that they need a facilitator since Kyrie Irving is not there. I mean, that's clear as day. But in my personal opinion, you get yourself a name on one of those big stars. When you're in that type of position, you save your career. And if I'm Nico, that's what I would have been fixated on doing. Because why not? It makes no sense to do anything else, in my opinion. So honestly, I just personally think that he fumbled this bag all the way. But why is nobody blaming ownership the way that they should be? Ownership's the one who signed off on this shit. And it's honestly a big reason why this whole thing seems like some big conspiracy. Something still doesn't feel right about it. It does seem like Nike, the NBA, Adam Silver, and everybody got their hands on this situation to make the Lakers not relevant again, but also to increase viewership. Because if you remember last year, all they were trying to market was LeBron James, Kevin Durant for the Suns, and Steph Curry. Remember? They wouldn't dare push anyone else, especially all the dominant overseas players that they have in their top five. And viewership was at an all-time low. The NBA was considered disgusting. So now, Luka Doncic is on the Lakers, and what do you know? Ratings at an all-time high. It's been as high as it's been since 2010. It's ridiculous. Now, is it just a Luka thing? Possibly not. But you got to realize what's the number one jersey that's being sold this year? Luka Doncic. He has the number one. He's number one in jersey sales. So it just seems like some big conspiracy. Whether it's the casino thing, whether it's just the fact that Nike and Adam Silver got into this, gave Dallas the number one pick and just told them to go ahead and start a restart. And I only think that the reason, really, if you look at Nico's whole career in Dallas, he's constantly made bad decisions. So it's a chance that he could be some type of plant. Think about it. Not trying to re-sign Jalen Brunson when he clearly was working with Luka. Think about stuff like that. Parlay that into, and then the whole beef with Kristaps Porzingis. Not fitting around Luka, and then the way they treated him when they exited him out, and immediately the next year he goes and win a championship with the Boston Celtics. Shit just never really seemed right. So could he be an industry plant? I'm not sure. All I know is that Dan Patrick's talking about it. I'm gonna let him talk real quick, and I'm gonna chime in.
Prove this. It's not like Nico Harrison said, "Don't tell ownership, but I'm trading Luka." Okay, and then you trade him.
I still remember Jason Kidd's face when he had this meeting. He was so confused. There's no way he did this without ownership's back. But no one's really laying down on ownership. Do you guys remember when Carmelo Anthony was on the Knicks? The way James Dolan was treated. The amount of disrespect and blame that he got for how horrible the Knicks were. Do you guys remember that? I have yet to see another ownership group get the same treatment that James Dolan got in 2010. And as far as everybody saying this is the worst trade in NBA history, I personally think it's up there. But in my opinion, a close second would be the trade that the Bucks did when they gave the Lakers Kareem. Because they really got nothing in return. A couple of players and a pick. Like, honestly, when you really look at it, that might be the worst trade in NBA history. Why? because that trade turned into 5 championships for the Los Angeles Lakers. This one has yet to do anything. And I highly doubt, I mean to the fullest, it would be dope if it happened. I highly doubt Luka Doncic will ever bring the Los Angeles Lakers 5 freaking championships. I just don't even see that being a possibility. If it happens, cool. Like, great. He's a one-way player. They still have a lot to work out because, like, even tonight, I think they play the Thunder. I see them getting blown out. I see them at least losing, maybe coming back, but I really see them getting blown out. Not because the Lakers are necessarily a bad team. I just think that the holes that they have on this team really consist of injuries, and because I don't even know if Reeves is playing tonight, and mainly just defense. This Laker team is very heavy offensively. Like, they can score, but their defense is yet to be desired, and they don't have much athleticism on this team, if any at all. I mean, because outside of DeAndre Ayton maybe, and then you have Rui, but it's not that much athleticism. It's a great team. I'm excited to watch, and I love watching this team. So thank you, Dallas, for going ahead and handing Luka over. But it's not like Luka just turned into some lockdown defender just because he got in shape. And Austin Reeves and him have both been in and out of the lineup. So I see this as a year where the Lakers go far. I still think that they could win 60-plus games, which would be a great accomplishment. They seem like a high-winning team. If they really want to be taken serious, in my opinion, like when it comes to playing the creme de la creme, because the best team that they've played so far this year has been the Golden State Warriors, and you guys seen how that happened. It was game one. They did look rusty. I imagine if they played the Warriors today, they probably win or only lose by like 2. But it was, at the end of the day, it kind of showed you just what the holes are going to be for this team. And for everybody who's saying, well, LeBron has athleticism, he doesn't have a defense, bro. His defense is going to be atrocious. I honestly see him basically making this team worse. And especially since they're talking about sciatica. If it was a real injury, which I doubt it is, that shit's ongoing.
Mark Cuban's he doesn't run the Mavericks anymore. He's got a percentage, but he has nothing to do with this. So ownership had to approve this. But now you're going to fire the guy that you gave autonomy to making this deal. Now, the owner should say, hey, you know what? I hated firing him, and I'm partially to blame as well. Okay, at least to take some ownership, true ownership here. Now, would I have made the trading away somebody like that? The year before you go to the NBA Finals. And I know
it's the dumbest thing ever. Let's be honest, like, if you took this for face value and said, okay, Nico said, you know, it'd be better. We get Anthony Davis because he's such an Anthony Davis fan. That's one. He has to be an Anthony Davis fan, which he is. He's close to him. He's also close to Rob Pelinka, which is why the conspiracy talks are there. But let's just say you give it face value, then that means that Luka was terrible to ownership. For ownership to approve this, new or not, Luka had to been talking shiznit. Do you guys remember the bad attitude he had last year? I don't see it that much. He still complains a little bit on fouls. I don't see too much of that bad attitude that he had last year while he's playing with the Lakers and the year before. Because he just seemed like an atrocious human being. And he was drinking beers and stuff. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing because players of yesteryear did that same type of stuff. But Luka was out of shape and didn't play defense. He seemed like a huge diva and drama queen. He's always seemed like that throughout his entire career. He has an anger issue, which has cost him costly games like the NBA Finals. So let's just say they looked at that. That would have had to been a key character trait for Luka and for them to get rid of him. And then he would have just had to been totally disrespectful to ownership and Nico for them to be like, yeah, let's get him out of here. Either way, it still doesn't make sense. But at the same time, if I own something and one of my players were that disrespectful to me, I could see myself wanting to get rid of them as well. Would I have done it for Anthony Davis? No. Absolutely not. And that's not because Anthony Davis is trash. I still think he's one of the great players in the league. But the injuries, and then just the fact that he's not a leader. Luka was a leader of your team. Anthony Davis will never be a leader. He's more of a follower, like a I don't want to say pawn. He's like a henchman, sort of say, and he's really LeBron's henchman, but he's just something more like a henchman. You would need a leader for him. You feel me? And now you might be hoping that that's Kyrie Irving, but again, that injury stopped this trade from being legit. If Kyrie Irving was on this team, we'd be looking at this team under a different light, which is why I think it was stupid that they fired Nico right now. If I'm Nico, the Dallas Mavericks have a bevy of draft picks, guys. They have draft picks for the next like 5 or 6 years. Cause I remember looking it up a while back. They had their draft picks. So when you look at it from that perspective, make some trades, bro. You know Kyrie Irving isn't going to be here till January, but you don't even know if your job's secure till January. I would have pushed that trade for Kevin Durant. You guys let me know in the comment section who you would have pushed it for, because there were a couple of players free this offseason. But I would have just, and the only reason, it's not even that Kevin Durant's the right fit, and I personally don't think you win with him really, but you just, the big names kind of shut people up. So Dallas Maverick fans who are fire Nico, when you look on paper and you say we got Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis playing with each other, oh, and by the way, Kyrie Irving's coming back, that will shut up a lot of people, bro. And Kevin Durant brings revenue into your fan base. People are still going to buy his jersey. Now, whether or not they're going to win or not, doesn't really matter, because Cooper Flag, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, bro. Who best to teach Cooper Flag than both Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant? Now you got the whole mentor marketing piece on it for your future. It's the perfect situation to keep your job. I'm sorry, it just is. So if I was Nico, I really think that he took a little too lightly the severity of the situation he was in. Because one thing I can guarantee you, there is no way anybody else in the National Basketball Organization will ever hire Nico Harrison. He's going to be officially banned for life. And I would hate to agree with Draymond, who said it was whack, because he's just a corporate whore. I'm pretty sure it's money involved in that situation, and Nico has made a lot of players a lot of money. So did I say Kevin Durant? I meant to say Draymond Green, my fault. Because I don't like to agree with Draymond Green. Forget the mule. But in this situation, firing Nico now just seems stupid. And now there's talks about them trading Anthony Davis. So what are you going to do? Break this entire team down because the first 10 games of the season were bad? That's horrible. That's just so stupid, because you have mostly veterans on this team. And if you do a fire sale, you're going to get 50 cents on a dollar. Sell high, buy low. And that's not what you would be doing right now. Keep Anthony Davis. Trade for someone else who's about to be a free agent soon. Shoot, even look at Giannis. Go ahead and take a Giannis peek. But trade for somebody soon. Make a trade. Get you a facilitator. Because let's be honest, bro, I got love for D'Lo. He just not on that level. Great facilitator in certain situations, not this one. And then the coaching staff just decided to make Cooper some type of point guard. Oh my gosh, that's why this whole thing isn't just a Nico thing. It's like the entire organization just seems unprepared, silly, and like they don't know what they're doing. It just it's reminding me of James Dolan all over again. Except they're not, as much as the fan base is upset, they're upset at the wrong people. You guys have to learn how to think on a higher level, guys. You guys can't be mad at the pawn or the face. The face of the situation is this dude right here, right? But he's not the one with all the power. They could have told him, for all you know, they could have told him, make this trade and don't ever say that we told you to. And being a guy under contract, that's exactly what he would have did. And now that he said that, he can't lie and take it back. Stop looking at the figureheads and stop looking at the patsies, because he definitely looks like a Manchurian candidate. Now, as far as that being for the Dallas Mavericks or for the league itself, Nike included, because he Nike employee, Rob Pelinka, Adam Silver, who knows? Who knows? And honestly, this story is so confusing, you may never know. So like, comment, subscribe, man. What do you guys think about the Nico Harrison firing? Appreciate you guys watching these videos, man. I'm up out of here.